accepts a lot of responsibility for our success or our failures.
And Levy said that everybody on the team, including the coaching staff, needed to do a better job and didn't do their job well enough. You specifically, after watching the tape, what did you learn and what did you think you did better?
Well, there's, one, I got to get our kids more disciplined so that we don't, end up backed up on our end, punting the ball 5 times in a row, end up behind the chains. We had 7 offensive penalties in the game. We put the ball on the ground 6 times. We lost one of them, the critical one, gave them a touchdown, and just made a lot of mental errors that were on base things. So just got to have more focused and more, interested in the grind.
What did you see out of your wide receivers against their corners who are pretty experienced?
Well, yeah, it's not just the receivers. I think that, we were playing against a competitive, intense, hungry team that had lost the week before. And like I told them yesterday, I think that, they figured out that we were serious about winning. And I think they went to the sideline and raised their level of intensity, and we didn't match it. And that's simply what happened, I think.
What's the challenge of shuffling an offensive line around, having to, put Fagan in again after that? Just what's the challenge of that going forward?
Well, we try to practice get everyone good quality reps because that at some point things are going to happen. So it wasn't a big deal for us. We trust Jordan. He had played during the game also. So that wasn't necessarily a big deal.
What's he shown you in his playing time so far?
Who's that?
Jordan. What has he shown you?
Well, he's shown me a lot since spring ball training camp. He came back with a lot more energy and enthusiasm, a lot more passion about playing football. And he's a big, athletic kid that's going to be around here a couple of more years. That's why he earned himself on the field.
Given some of the shuffling and the injuries, just how would you assess the line so far? What have they done? What do they need to do better?
They're doing okay. In regards to learning, they're prepared. They know who they're competing with. They understand our schemes. We just, like I said, we have to understand that winning is hard, especially against good quality winning football teams, and that you got to play with a certain level of intensity and a certain level of focus and passion throughout the game, because teams that are used to winning and teams that are really competitive and good, they're going to play hard and they're going to play, as a desperate team. And that's where we went in. We watched most of the film together as an offense yesterday, staff and everyone. And we just really try to use it as a learning tool of what it's going to take to win games in our conference. Because every team we play from here on out is going to be that type of atmosphere, that type of level of competitiveness. And that's just where we got to grow and learn.
Did it seem like it sunk in watching the tape together like that? And did you see the reaction and kind of going?
Well, I know our kids are committed, and they want this university to do well. And so what I tried to do was not yell at them or be mad at them, but use it as a moment to teach them that's what these games are going to be like. If you're thinking about, and our goals are to win the Big Ten, well, that means that most of our games are going to come down to the fourth quarter, that we're going to have to compete for 4 straight quarters. We have to leave it all out on the field. And, I talked to him about at the end of the game, you should be in the locker room completely exhausted because you gave every single ounce that you have. That's the only way to win games against, really good teams.
What do you see out of Western Michigan's defense?
They're good. They play a really interesting style of defense. I've read all the articles. I've read a lot about the defensive philosophy. They believe in stopping the run. That's their defense. They believe that they can hold a team to under 100 yards rushing. That gives them a 92% chance of winning the game. So the defense is built on stopping the run. So it'll be a challenge for us. We need to charge our kids up, get our offensive line to get after the defensive front. That'll be a lot of the game. That will our offensive line grit their teeth and get after the defensive line.
How are you going to adjust your run game in accordance with that since you rely most on this pass game?
Yeah, well, we're going to, we're committed to it. We just have to find the right spots to run the ball, find the right defensive fronts to put the ball in, and make sure that we're, like I said, running the ball into the right defenses and not into overloaded defenses.
How much have you been able to watch your former quarterback do what he's doing right now?
I thought you were talking about Ryan Mallett. He texted me the other day. You're talking about Lamar. I watched both games. Yeah.
What's been your reaction to what he's doing?
That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me one bit. He's a really good player.
Did you know he'd be that good when you recruited him?
Yeah, he's always been really good.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Thanks, Coach.